You sure have heard of Andrew Tate, one of the most controversial people on the internet right now. A month ago, or something like that, he's been interviewed by Morgan Piers on his podcast. At the end of the interview, they've played a short chess game, since they are both chess players, and Andrew Tate's father was Emory Tate, an international grandmaster. Today, what I'm gonna do is to show you that game. This game took place at the end of the interview, and there were 5 minutes on the clock. But these 5 minutes were for both players, not 2.5 and 2.5. And I don't get the meaning at all, because who wins when this timer ends? Even because the game finished before the 5 minutes ended. So there was no point at all. Anyway, Andrew Tate started with d4 and went for a queen's gambit. That was declined. Knight c3, knight c6. Until here there weren't mistakes, but it is better to develop first the bishop on the king side, or maybe the knight, getting ready for a castling. But Morgan Piers instead decided to put the knight on c6. Followed bishop f4, bishop b6, e3, bishop takes, with the idea of damaging white's pawn structure. Queen h4 doesn't do anything, it's just a loss of a pawn. Knight f6, bishop g3, and now of course you slide back your queen. But instead of queen g5, it should have been better something like this, maybe proposing an exchange of queens. Because in this way you favor your opponent's development. And Andrew Tate took the opportunity to develop his knight, and then Piers blundered, completely forgetting about his queen, and castled. Knight takes, rook e8, seeing this exchange happen and getting ready for an attack on the e file. That didn't happen, but instead queen c2, h6, kicking away that knight, knight f3, knight g4. This is a mistake because instead you could have developed, and this knight is not threatening anything. Everything's covered. h3 follows and the knight falls back. Bishop e5 takes, and then Piers took that pawn, but didn't see bishop c4. d6, but my idea is that pushing this first and then this is better. Tate castled, g6. g6 is a mistake because your king's safety is now gone. Knight takes g6 is a great move. I'll show you in a pair of moves why it's a winning idea. Bishop b7, rook e1, getting more active with that rook. And now pawn takes. This is a full blunder, and I think it is what actually Andrew Tate wanted, because now your king's safety, if it was not good before, now it's completely gone. It's faded away. Queen takes, king f8, queen takes again with check, and it's just lost at this point. You have to run away, and soon enough you'll get caught. Maybe after an exchange here, then the rooks will get into the game and starting to harass even more the king. And as we can see, follows king e7, queen g7 check, king d8, that's just a free knight. And now queen takes knight is just a free knight with a check. What is better than that? Rook e7 and bishop takes, removing more material, and you cannot take because you have a pin. Rook c8 is a blunder because now bishop takes, king takes, but instead it would have been better with the bishop because now your rook is hanging and gets taken. Bishop d5, at this point, personally, I would have just resigned because the materials difference is too much. e4, bishop c4, already the game's over. There's too much difference, but you cannot afford anyway if you want to continue a game like this. to take the rook, because then your bishop gets taken and you don't have anything else, and the match is over. Queen check, king c7, another queen check, king d7, d5 cutting off the bishop, king d8, d6 and bishop takes, just for the satisfaction of taking a rook. Mate in 2 is what Andrew Tate said before moving the queen on e7, then this is forced and checkmate. With 24 seconds on that clock of his, but with 24 seconds anyone could have won that game at this point, because after this check the king has to move, then you take the bishop and the king cannot do anything. The only thing that remains is to move here, 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 or pushing pawns. That will get eventually eaten because it's 2 on 2. Then you push one of these 3 pawns, and you can even make just a rook and it's checkmate. To be honest, I expected more from Morgan Piers, since he stated himself as his former school champion, but it was a one-sided game. What to say? We'll be waiting for a rematch.